Today I'm working on an Echo SRM225. This is their current model with the fuel tank that's down on the bottom and a large protective black shield over the base of it. There have been more than a dozen configurations of this machine, possibly sold in the millions. They're fantastic little units, good enough for homeowner use, good enough for commercial use. This one's in very bad shape. It's been sitting for a long time and I have no idea what's wrong with it. I'll take you through the process of diagnosing and repairing it. Let's take a peek inside the fuel tank. Oh, it's got Echo's red armor in it. That's a good sign. Maybe the carburetor won't be bad. See if it pumps up. That sounds good. Give that a moment to wet those check valves. Outstanding. How about air filter? Oh, that is a brick of goodness. Somebody's been field cutting. And as you can see, it has been run without an air filter. That is very hard on cylinders and piston rings. Let's see if it'll start. It's not getting full throttle, but that's alright for a test. These have easy start, so they have a starter assist spring in them. She's a no-go. Let's find out why. I'm going to do a very quick throttle adjustment. It needs to be pulled more rearward in this adjuster, so I'm going to thread that nut forward, which will allow the assembly to come back, and then I can test and see if I'm pulling all the way to full, and I'm not yet. So we'll come a little more forward. Go just a little bit. I think we're going to start losing idle if I go any more than that. This front nut is captive, so I can just use one tool to tighten. There is so much grit and debris around here that it will be underneath this, and that will cause this to have so much friction that it won't rotate correctly. That's pretty good. Let's do one more start test. Full choke, full throttle. So it's a little lean, a little peek underneath the carburetor here where the mixture screw is located. Someone has removed the cap, so someone's been chasing the running issue. So we can stick a screwdriver in here, and I'll rotate counterclockwise until it stops. So there's the stop. So that is the full amount of mixture it'll have. Let's give another test run. I'm going to go back with choke because I want to have this carburetor start to wake up a little bit. Let's see if it'll idle. Well, that's surprisingly good. I wasn't expecting this machine to come alive so fast. Let's check the restart. Not bad so far. Let's do a little service on it. Let's take a peek at the fuel filter. Looks brand new. I blasted the air filter housing out with carburetor cleaner and compressed air several times, and then dug all the dirt out of it and blasted again. So we can put an air filter on it. Before a test run, we'll adjust the carburetor since I turned that mixture screw to all the way out position. The adjuster is centered right underneath here. There is normally a black plastic cap pressed into it. You can see all that smoke coming off the hot exhaust system. That's usually an indication that it's just a little bit on the lean side. Even though it's screaming nicely, I'm going to adjust it just slightly richer than that so that it's not overheating. You saw me run my hand over the exhaust to feel how much exhaust pressure is flowing out of the muffler. It's not very much. So before going further, I'm going to take the muffler off and inspect the spark arrestor and the exhaust port. I'll start by removing this engine cover. It's a T27 Torx. And again, T27 on the muffler. Those were not very tight. The exhaust port is perfectly clear inside. And the piston looks really good. Let's take a look at the spark arrestor and the exhaust opening in the muffler. Spark arrestor is perfect. The gasket isn't too bad. Burned up right there, but it's not collapsed. Sometimes they'll collapse in and block exhaust flow. And this side looks good. A lot of crud built up inside this exhaust exit, so I'll scrape that out with a screwdriver. With a little more run time on the machine and a carburetor adjustment, I'll show you what it's doing now. I'll add throttle to the starting. What it does, if it's allowed to idle long enough, is the idle just slowly dies away and the machine shuts off. And then, as you saw with those initial starts, it'll fire and die, fire and die. So it is not transferring fuel up to the top of the combustion chamber. I suspect that it's got low compression. It could also be that the fuel pump in the carburetor, those flaps, are not working well. Based on how bad this machine was and the fact that it had ingested so much grit, I'm going to do a compression test on it, especially now that it's hot, and see what that looks like. Here's the condition of the spark plug. And you can see it's running very lean. A whopping 115 on the compression test gauge, as expected. And that is not enough to support good running, especially at idle, because there's just not going to be fuel transfer up to that combustion chamber due to air escaping past the piston ring as the piston ring travels downward. Parts have arrived, so it's time to replace that piston ring. You can see the results here of running air filters that are extremely dirty, or taking the risk of pulling the air filter out and running it without. Whenever you're replacing just a piston ring, be sure to check the condition of the ring land, and if it's carboned up inside, clean it out. Before I reassemble, I'll put some automotive engine oil on the bearings of the big end of the connecting rod. And I can put some of that oil down on the sides of the crankshaft, and it'll get to those crankshaft bearings. I've cleaned the cylinder base gasket areas with carburetor cleaner, and I'll put a little automotive engine oil into the cylinder. These cylinders have a ramp at the bottom of them which will compress the piston ring automatically, so there's no need to use a ring compressor. Put some oil on the piston as well. This makes the installation easier and gives the piston and ring and cylinder some added protection for that initial startup. I'll set the gasket in place. Some of these base gaskets are directional. This one is because it only has 2 bolt holes in it, but some have angles for the transfer ports, and these little step outs will be different shapes, as well as thicknesses at the rear and at the front, but this one is all symmetrical all the way around. And I'll make sure that my ring is on either side of that anti-rotation pin. And it slides right on. And then I'll just apply even pressure and watch what the gasket's doing, because I don't want to damage my gasket. And a little blue Loctite on the cylinder bolts. And I'll set those in place and then use them to position the cylinder base gasket. There we go. And now that I've got the cylinder seated and the gasket is lined up and not being crushed or torn, I can tighten it all back up. Quick inspection on the carburetor. Diaphragm is nice. That's what happens when you use Echo's pre-mixed power fuel that is ethanol free. All clear in here and working good. Little tri-flow there for the slide so it pivots nicely. Little copper anti-seize. When you're reinstalling the cover, watch out for these slots. That's where the kill wire passes through. The slot here goes on the metal engine housing. There's a raised slot that fits into that. So there you can see the kill wire right there is passing through that cutout, and this metal is up inside the slot that's in the top cover right here. For startup, I'm going to rich in the mixture, and then I can adjust it once it warms up. Choke. No pressure in the carburetor, ignition on, full throttle. We'll bump the idle up a little bit. we'll turn the idle down. And now we can lean the mixture out a little bit. We'll go a full turn. And we'll go a half turn. Now that it's warmed up, we'll check the restart. Ignition on. Carburetor is responding nice. Starts on about half a pull. This machine's ready to go back into service. Thanks for watching. I hope this helps you out.